Mandalore to your front door. God. Hi guys.
Hello.
Hey.
Who's here today right now? There's some random voice in this building, and it's not Alex. Who is that?
I'm Jacob Krueger, aka JK, singer-songwriter in Like Vultures.
Oh shit. So we got Jake from Like Vultures in here to the Interwar podcast, everybody. How y'all doing? It's Monday, the 18th. We're doing this podcast every other week, every week. I don't know. We're going to see how you guys respond to it, and we'll base off the frequency based on that. So, yeah, we got Jake here. It's a rainy-ass Monday. We're just kicking it here in this hot-ass studio.
I love Mondays.
Yes.
I love hot studios.
Yeah, super hot right now. They haven't unlocked the AC or heat, so we're just sitting in this fucking hot-ass room with a fan on.
I didn't agree to this or sign up for
He
it.
didn't. He did. Well, you signed up for this, but not the sauna. Not the sauna at all. Alex, how are you doing today, bud?
I'm doing great.
Yeah?
Yeah.
How was that burrito
Actually
you
woke
just
up
ate?
and today's cool. Huh?
How was the burrito you just ate?
Very good.
Or was it vegan?
It was just rice and beans.
Like literally just
It was
rice and
huge
beans?
though. Yeah.
That's it? Damn. That's actually like just, I thought there'd be a little bit more of that vegan burrito, but you know.
Yeah.
We got Stone here too. He's just kicking it. Last week we had Kendall. It was our first podcast, Kendall of Dead Crown.
I'm number 2, just like I always am in life.
Number 2. Hey man, you know, it gets better as we keep going.
Someone
so.
has to be number 2.
Yeah. Yeah, that's my entire life.
I don't mind it.
But yeah, today we're just going to talk about basically the Like Vultures coming back, putting out new stuff and future plans and water Jake is drinking, I guess.
Are you a Star Wars fan?
Fuck yeah.
Did
Are
you
we
see
about
it?
to talk about
Yeah, I don't care
Are we about
about
to talk about the Mandalorian?
I don't care about my band at all.
Okay. All right, we'll get to your band in a
That'll
minute.
happen.
But let's just give a spoiler warning because if you have not seen the Mandalorian on Disney Plus, first 2
You're sleeping.
episodes we're covering right now, then go ahead and tune out or just go watch that shit and then tune back in because we're about to talk about it. So yes, I have seen the new Mandalorian.
I just think it's so amazing that we're alive. Of all the times that we could be alive, we're alive when there's the most Star Wars things happening. The most nerdy shit is happening at all times, every single day.
I feel like we've been going in a kind of like a renaissance of the 80s the past like 10 years because if you think about it, like everything is kind of like at its max right now. Like max Marvel movies,
Yeah.
max horror movies, max Star Wars movies. Like metal's even pushed as far as it can go.
And then there's gonna be like a singularity and everything's gonna shift and get awkward.
Yes.
Yeah.
So right now is a really good time. But yeah,
Hair
it's
is gonna get too big. Pants
Mhm.
are gonna get too tight.
kind of like the 80s. Like everything just kind of got
Yeah.
too much, but it was rad for a minute there. So we're in
Everyone
that.
does cocaine.
Yes, everyone does cocaine. That's like part of growing up. You realize that, especially in the music scene. But you know, I mean, it's all part of it. You know. But yeah, the Mandalorian is amazing. Anybody who hasn't seen that, definitely go see that.
It's so like westerny and dusty and real looking.
Yeah.
I really like it. I just there's some things that look kind of Star Trek-y about it to me, but those things usually get like that blue guy in the first episode, that little fishman.
Mm-hmm.
He immediately got axed, so I was cool with it.
Yeah, I was cool with it.
But yeah, I watched 2 episodes of The Mandalorian last night, and then immediately played a brand new Star Wars video game. So I don't do that shit that often, but it's nice that when I can relax, I can just relax with Star Wars for 4 hours.
Was it the Fallen Order?
It was.
How is that game?
A lot of climbing.
Really? A lot of climbing?
I got
Yeah.
really stuck like right away. But it's a beautiful game. It seems really fun, and I like what they've been doing. I know a lot of people hate this. I know there's a lot of like extra Star Wars stories and legends and stuff, and they fleshed everything out so deeply, but it was so detailed, and a lot of it got so weird. And I like how they're keeping things like tight with the new stuff. Like they don't go super deep into everything. The new things that they introduce are like tight. They're kind of like almost shallow, some of it. Like you don't have to know a bunch of shit about Star Wars. It's really accessible. Like the Mandalorian is very like surface level at first. I mean, then the baby Yoda has the Force. Spoiler. But like other than that, it's just
That's what I liked about it,
smooth
is
sci-fi thing.
they didn't like rely on nostalgia. The only was nostalgia.
But it's so nostalgic at the same time
is.
because
It
of
is.
how it looks. But you don't have to. There's like that little callback to Kenobi just for a second, which was a like blink and you'll miss it thing. So it's not like you had to understand it.
And then also the little stuff like the Jawas, you know, like
Oh my god, I love seeing them get disintegrated.
yeah. And then
I loved him killing Jawas.
And then, like, obviously the baby Yoda. I think that's cool. Is like they didn't. I like the Force Awakens, but it was almost like Star Wars greatest hits movie. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Where this was like we're gonna take like the smallest elements as possible, and like that's not even gonna be like the story. It's gonna or like most of the episode. You know, that's what I really appreciate.
Yeah. Okay. So you mean the callbacks in the Force Awakens were like, this is gonna be the movie. Like, are going to be the callbacks.
Just callbacks. It's literally just a callback movie.
I think they're kind of realizing that that's necessary, but in a lighter form. And so now it's like, okay, we know we have to have callbacks, but they're going to be like dirty stormtrooper outfits and like droids in the background and shit.
Or like a baby Yoda, or like just little shit.
You know what I like about Baby Yoda? I know he's not Yoda. Unless he's time traveling Yoda here first. That'd be terrible.
What if he's Yoda's son?
And very Star Trek.
What if he's Yoda's son? Is that possible?
I don't think Yoda had a dick and balls. It wasn't never confirmed.
No, they had Yadi.
Oh, okay.
Wasn't there Yoda and Yadi together?
I don't know.
Just keep talking.
Yaddle? There was some weird other Yoda.
Keep talking. I'm gonna look this shit up.
But what I liked about Baby Yoda is that they always have to do something new and cute in Star Wars, like fucking like porgs. I like BB-8, but like it's either the droid or some like bullshit little animal or something. And this is like, oh my god, that's fucking cute, and it's like a story element, and it's super cool, and it has powers. But the cute thing that they had to include was like part of the story and actually interesting and super fucking adorable.
All right, so yes, there was a fucking another Yoda, and her name was Yaddle.
And
Yaddle, a force-sensitive female being of the same species as Grandmaster Yoda. Those two fuck, dude.
Oh yeah,
that's Baby Yoda.
Well, I mean,
Yoda Jr.
And they had to have fucked, obviously, but is every member of that species force sensitive? And also, I think I was like, I'm really bad at math, but I was trying to think if Yoda lived for 900 years and that baby's 50, but he's like a 6-month-old baby. So was Yoda like 18 when everything was going down in the Clone Wars, and he was just like a teenager in charge of everything, and everyone was like, no, he's old and wise. But he was just born with the Force, and is like,
maybe he's like John Connor, dude. They just trust him, you know. It's like kid to leave the fucking revolution.
Like Terminator.
I wish I could comment on this, but I've never really watched any of those movies. So
well, okay, but that's kind of interesting though, because you don't know shit. I know you don't know anything about Star Wars.
I don't.
And you dove into the Mandalorian with me.
It was awesome.
Yeah,
I liked it a lot.
That's what we're talking about. It's like you don't really need to.
I think that's important.
It's not based on nostalgia.
Okay, so you think it'll be it's a whole new story? Then it's something I can get into, and it'll be.
Yeah, I think it's. I mean, I don't see them. Okay, it's fucking 2 episodes, and I cannot say this, but I don't see them being like, and it's all tied to Obi-Wan Kenobi, and actually Darth Vader. You know, like I don't think they can really do that because it's in a time period that hasn't really been explored yet. And I just think fans would be pissed if
this is
one
right before,
offshoot.
This is right before the New Order takes over.
Yeah. So like,
or not right before, but years. How long?
It's 5 years after Return of the Jedi. So like the Empire's dead.
Oh shit.
It's gone away.
So how long is between Jedi and Force Awakens?
30
years?
Yeah.
Interesting.
So they're still like they could do anything. They don't need to tie it to anything.
What if Baby Yoda has something to do with Rise of Skywalker?
See, where they would fuck up is I know you're not going to be like tuning in every week, but somebody like you that doesn't give a shit about Star Wars and then sees an episode and is like, oh, okay, I can do this. I'll get into it. They could lose everybody like you if in episode 4 they're like, and that's how Rey was born. You're like, who the fuck is Rey? I don't know what's happening.
Yeah, that could fuck it up. I don't think they probably won't do that though.
I think it would just bewilder me. I'd be like, I'd either dive into it at that point or just.
Do you think this is going to make you want to dive into the other movies? Possibly. No.
I feel like I'm too late. I feel like I'm way too late.
That's the problem. Yeah,
you're not late. How are you late?
Well, dude, they started with episode 4. Everyone was
It's only
late.
like, I mean, what is it? How
They're
long?
like, here's this brand new cool movie, and everyone's like, oh, that's sick. And they're like, and actually, this is the 4th one.
So there's 9 movies. So 20 hours. That's not that long.
That's not bad.
You could do that. You should watch. You guys should all just watch Star Wars like a night and just go through them all, 1 through 9.
The thing about that is, I've seen it so many times that when I'm showing new people and they start to tune out, I'm like, well, I'm not going to fucking sit here and watch this again. I don't want to.
That's a good point. That's a good point, actually, if you never grew up with it, I guess it would be kind of hard to watch.
But Nate doesn't give our other roommate doesn't give a fuck about Star Wars either. And he came in and watched episode 2 with us randomly and was like, that grabbed me. That was good.
Damn.
And that was episode 2 where it's already kind of been established.
Yeah.
Damn.
I think it'll do well.
I think it will too. I'm excited to see. I want to see the Obi-Wan series. I want to see a lot of the stuff. I'm really excited for the Winter Soldier and the Falcon series. Have you seen that? Marvel.
I'm excited for that too.
Yeah,
I love the Winter Soldier.
Winter Soldier is my favorite.
And I think I cried. I probably didn't cry, but I wanted to cry.
Yeah.
When Falcon takes the shield and Bucky's just like, I'm a terrorist. I understand why I don't get it.
Yeah.
That's fine.
You're not a big Marvel guy either, are you?
Man, I don't.
That's another thing. We're like 25 movies into that one, so it's
you're kind of.
I don't watch.
You're
as
screwed
much.
on that.
And they're kind of not slowing down for people either. They're like, fuck you if you haven't seen it.
They're just like, we're just
gonna make $1 billion no matter what.
Exactly.
I truly just watch a bunch of horror movies.
I think where Alex can kind of get into this conversation is that we talk about the budgets and the profits for all these movies constantly, because there's all these movies that spend $200, $300 million and are gonna make $1 billion. But Alex and I really like to talk about the movies that spend like 11,000 and then make 200 million.
Yeah.
Shit like that, where they just make like
crazy.
The Blair Witch was a number like that.
That was the highest one I found.
I don't think it was 200 million, but
I'm gonna look it up.
I think there's one.
Yeah, get that list out because I think you'd blow Duncan's mind with that.
Yeah, I know Blair Witch is one of the highest grossing movies for how much it cost. It was like 50 grand or some shit to make that movie.
Yeah, and they made in the hundreds of millions. And I never knew this. I knew it was cheap, but I never knew that Paranormal Activity was made the same way it was made, like without a studio and stuff like that. It was just the house.
Yeah.
And they made it with shitty cameras. I think that one was like the $11,000 or $12,000 one that obviously made hundreds of million, if not billions of dollars.
Yeah, well, the franchise at least has, which is crazy. Paranormal Activity.
How long until that gets rebooted?
Exactly, dude.
They did The Grudge. That was like in the
yeah,
mid-2000s.
they did.
I'm excited for that one. That one looks really good.
Yeah, that could be good.
All right, hit me.
Here we go.
They spent $60,000 and they made $248.6 million.
Jesus.
Box office.
Blair Witch?
Yeah, Blair Witch 1, the original.
And the production company on that wasn't even that great. It was like Artesian Films, and then it was like Miramax, I think. Wasn't it Miramax or some shit?
I'm sure Miramax.
It was like an indie.
Distributed it.
Sorry.
Distributed. Is that a word?
Sorry to everybody. It's fucking.
Yeah, it was. Is Artesian or Artisan? I think it's
Artisan Film, yeah. I think that's all like indie shit. But like some major one had to
what's
distribute
the Paranormal Activity numbers?
I was about to say that was the next one, and they spent $11,000 and made $193.4 million. That's a bigger win. That's a way bigger win.
Yeah, because they had a fifth of the money at first.
11,000. I feel like that's if someone truly wanted to make something, they could save up for a couple of years and have $11,000 and make that movie and get up. That's crazy.
Just stop buying Starbucks.
Yeah.
Just stop buying your iced coffees and you could fund your own movie.
It's true.
Is this crazy how far a good concept can go? Or even just maybe like getting
something that hasn't been done?
With that. Yeah.
I mean,
Ghost Dogs.
No, was Paranormal Activity like the first
nothing.
movie that was like the cameras the whole time?
You mean found footage?
Yeah.
No, because Blair Witch.
Blair Witch. No, even then there was like another one before then. It was
Well, I'm sure there was, but I think that was the first.
Blair Witch was huge too.
Full feature film for sure, definitely.
Yeah.
There was some like UFO fake documentary they put out like on some channel like 10 years ago. It's actually really good. It's about this family that like gets trapped in their house and they have to like film it with like a video camera. It's pretty dope.
I'd love to watch that. What's that called?
Is that Fourth Kind?
No, this is like, dude, this is old.
That movie shook me.
You guys
really?
Yeah,
I got drunk in a theater and fell asleep to that one, and I judged it as such.
No, it was actually.
I fell asleep, but I was drunk, so that doesn't really count.
I was also in high school, and I don't know, one of these you get scared.
I think it was called, Alien Abduction Incident in Lake County. That's what it's called.
When did that come out?
It's a remake of the McPherson tape.
Oh shit!
It's like a UFO.
Is that a real
It's
thing?
like it's a 1989 found footage thriller.
Is the McPherson
1989?
Yeah, dude, this is old.
What's the McPherson tapes?
The McPherson tapes
that the
was a
1989
family.
one?
It's a large. It's the alien abduction incident in Lake County. That's what you want to watch. It's a larger budget version of the McPherson tape, which was originally aired in 1998. It's about someone who's making a home movie with his family during Thanksgiving when they're attacked and ultimately abducted by extraterrestrials.
Yeah.
On Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
Right.
That'd be a fun Thanksgiving movie to watch.
Can't we have anything?
I'm watching that on Thanksgiving
Yeah.
now, straight up.
Abduction. Well, that's a lot of nerd talk right there. You know, I feel like we should be getting into music soonish. I don't know.
Yeah, man, hit me.
I feel like we barely cracked the surface, but I feel like we should come back to the movie topic.
Yeah, let's come back to the movie topic. I
No rules.
feel like I want to talk about some vultures, man. Like Vultures.
Let's do it.
I think
We're back.
Yeah, you're fucking
We're
back.
strong.
So
yeah.
explain the first thing we always want to ask is like, what's your relationship, your band and your relationship to Interwar?
It's complicated.
Right.
So I've been working with Alex for a few years, through some highs and lows in my life. And so it's taken a long time to kind of get to the point where we were officially recording new Like Vulture songs. And we started in our apartment. Alex and I lived together. And when Interwar kind of formed, it just was right at the perfect time for us to go, oh, this is way better, and kind of start working here at the studio instead of in a closet. Which I'd like to say that I don't know if people think about this, if like fans or listeners think about this, but everything Like Vultures has ever released has been recorded in some type of bedroom closet setup. So I think that's an important step for us.
Big step, dude.
A lot of people ask me like, why don't you guys tour? Like, why aren't you guys more famous and blah, blah, blah. It just doesn't work like that all the time. And I don't think a lot of people know that a lot of their favorite bands like work jobs and record their shit in closets on their own and stuff like that. So it was just kind of our first step into legitimacy, and it was right during a personal and professional comeback and trying to build it back up. And I'm not really interested in like getting back to the level that we were at. That's why it took I think about 2 years of work, about a year and a half, 18 months of straight recording and getting the band together, and we've recorded so much that we kind of tossed because it just wasn't. I didn't want to come back to the level we were at. I wanted to kind of like do something better, bigger and better, more dramatic, release it like in a professional manner, come back with a show, all that. I didn't want to just
proper.
Right. I wanted to do it better than we had done it before. I don't know if we achieved that, but the numbers were better than they've been before. So yeah, man.
How long has the break been for, like, since you put this new song out?
It was a big one. So I think our last song came out. Our last official Like Vultures release was in 2014.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, man. So I kind of tried to make a half-assed comeback, but I was in no shape personally to come back. It was kind of a distressing time period, and I just like really needed to know that like I could put something out and people would care. So we put out a song that we recorded with Alex. I use the term "we" loosely. I forget who was involved with the band at the time, but yeah, we tried to push a song under a new band name on our Like Vultures pages, and the response was positive, but I just immediately, like, it was when you make decisions out of desperation, I feel like you end up going back on them. I try to really think things through now, because I made the decision to change the band name like kind of under duress. Like the people around me were kind of making me feel not good enough, make me feel like Vultures wasn't a good band. It kind of the people around me were kind of thinking about the wrong things. Like the band name is what's holding you back, and it just wasn't that. So I changed the band name for like a split second. It was going to be called No Love, and we dropped a song under No Love, and it almost immediately pulled it. It wasn't up for very long. I didn't want to do that, and I kind of realized that right away. And that was in 2016 or 2017, and then I put it back down. Eventually moved to Portland and kind of restructured the band, got some new blood in. Absolutely, we've had a lot of lineup changes over the years.
As do most bands?
This was the most peaceful, like, hey, there's absolutely nothing wrong with what you guys have done, nothing but good things for me, but things are going in a different direction. And I just kind of became surrounded by a couple people that I felt were really integral to my personal success as far as, emotional and mental health, people around me that I was working with, like at a real job, people that helped me kind of bring myself back to life, bring myself out of a personal hell, and I needed to move forward with those people. I felt very strongly. So, the people that are working with Like Vultures now, from the band mates to the production team, to the studio, it's definitely just the strongest team. I feel I'm very confident in it.
Oh yeah, you should be. It's awesome.
I'm like very confident in it, but I'm also micromanaging my I have such a high bar for myself. It's almost kind of dangerous because I don't mean that in like my finished product is such a high bar for myself. Like when you hear anything that comes from me musically, I probably like hate it at the point that it's coming out at, and I just have to be like, it's fine. Like just put it out. It'll be fine. And then, the comments start rolling in and I'm like, oh, okay, it's more than fine. Okay, whew, thank God. So I'm very confident in the work we do, but I also have to like manage my expectations too for myself.
Do you feel like people's reactions kind of like dictate your songwriting, or do you kind of never?
Not at all.
So when you have that feeling, when you're like, okay, people like this, like, is that kind of like, is that more like you're talking about like your musician friends and stuff, like people you look up to, or you're talking about just more
never. I've learned through experience that I think one of the most toxic things you can do to yourself is like worry about what your musician or artist friends are going to think of your creation. That's like a bad idea to rely on that. I really fucking like it. My ego really likes it when people like that play our genre of music or any genre of music. I really like it when they like my creation, but it's more of an ego thing. Like, ooh, yeah, I'm doing good. It's like that competitive thing. Like, I want to do really well. I want my shit to skyrocket. But I think I have to be careful with that. So, like, I try to stay away from reacting to musicians' reactions. I guess I don't know how to really say it correctly.
I know what you're saying.
I try to.
You got to kind of keep your You kind of.
So, just as an example, like when Like Vultures first came out, it was just straight like post-hardcore. Like I loved like Pierce the Veil and I don't know, like Memphis Mayfire and A Day to Remember, all that stuff. And for some reason, like our songs kind of popped off in the Spokane like metalcore post-hardcore scene first, and we went and played there, and I had a bunch of like hardcore dudes in my ear like, yo, you guys could go far, but you need to like drop the singing and just like be more straightforward and like just like have more breakdowns and shit like that. And then
I don't know why that just made me laugh, but like the way you did the voice, like all came in.
I didn't know.
You need to drop the singing. I mean, you go far, dude.
I can see him.
I'm not trying to get torn up in the pit or nothing, but
no, it was funny. I could just hear your voice. It made me crack up. I was like, I know the dude you're talking about.
With an Expire hoodie.
Yeah, that type of cat, dude. You know,
like, yo, you seem dope, but like, ideally though, like you would drop the singing.
Shit.
Clown shoes.
So on the next record, like I'd written 7 more songs that weren't hardcore,
Yeah.
And then we're recording them, which I think is a pretty good record, When Some Loose, and we're recording it, and I was like really fucking worried about what hardcore kids were going to think of my metalcore CD, and that's so dumb, and that's what you end up doing when you're worried about your friends in the scene and what they're going to think of your new music and stuff like that. You can't you literally just have to make something you like and that you'll fuck with and put it out in a thought out, like well planned manner. You have to think about how you're going to release it, and you have to plan it out, and you have to make it tight, make sure it comes out, and everybody that can see it sees it. And then after that, it's best to just I like to check the numbers. I like to make sure that we're increasing, or if we don't increase, if we don't gain ground with a move, I like to know and then kind of think, okay, what happened there? But to be honest, that hasn't really happened. When we put something out, it usually does well for us in some way. But I kind of laugh at the negative comments because I guess I'm just so confident that I just disagree with them usually.
Yeah.
Like the worst comment on the new song was like, "This isn't creative," and I was like, "Well, yeah, it is though." I mean, it is.
Yeah.
So I don't know about that.
It's just funny. It's like, what
in a cocky way
what
either,
way
just,
does that even mean?
You know,
what the fuck are you talking
as
about?
a songwriter, people think you don't have that right, but you have the right to disagree or agree.
Well,
with
I created it.
Yeah.
So in that way,
or just tell them like you're like, you know, like it's
I don't.
Just, what have you done?
If
like,
I reply, I've been told I need to reply more. I'm so bad about talking to people. Like when I don't love the term fans, but when fans message me, I'll message them back and I'll talk to them that way. But I'm really bad about responding to comments. But when I do respond to a negative comment, it's like, hey, thanks for checking it out though, and maybe you'll like the next one.
Uh-huh.
But I've had a really good experience. I've been very lucky every time I've released something. Obviously, I'm not like famous, and we haven't done anything huge, but yeah, I've always been really lucky. I've always got pretty good numbers on stuff. I just need to put more music out, and that's kind of where I'm at now. I'm kind of in the, okay, let's fucking wrap it up. You know, I took so long. I don't even want to say how long we've been working on like the 11 or 12 songs we're going to put out, but like more than a year, less than 3. It's somewhere in there. 5 total that I've been writing with Alex since, without putting anything out. Damn. So the song we're gonna put out at the beginning of the year is like the 5th version of that particular song that's been recorded. So
it's the best version though.
It's better every time. Yeah, we should probably do a couple more. I'm just kidding.
Didn't you you guys just put out a new song, huh?
Yeah, we put out a song called Ugly Love, which was kind of scary because it was all fucking over the place structurally and just acoustic parts and into extreme heavy breakdowns for us, extreme heavy breakdowns, and you know.
That shit was fun though, and I think that's a big thing that we do when we write.
I go for really nasty and really pretty and kind of cutesy sometimes. Cheeky is one of my favorite words to describe a lot of our songs. Tongue in cheek.
Didn't you? Who directed that video?
Kendall Johns. Former Interwar podcast guest.
Yeah, former Interwar podcast guest.
The number 1 guest, I believe.
What do you guys got for views on that thing right now? Is it doing pretty well?
Sterling. Oh yeah, universally loved.
Yeah, good.
Yeah, a lot of people have said it's the best song they've ever heard. I've seen that one a lot.
Nice.
I've seen this is very nearly the best song I've ever heard. I did get a little bit of a negative review saying, this is the best song I've heard this week. So, but like I said, you got to take the negative with the positive.
Hey, that guy in Europe that like watched it and reacted, that was really cool to see.
That was
wild.
I was a little bit stoned, and I just like stumbled upon a video review, and like I saw the guy, and I was like, he's not going to like this. I don't know why. I just immediately judged him. I was like, he's not going to like this. And then he gets through his YouTube intro, plays, and I start going, oh man, why am I watching this? I don't do this usually. And it was his reaction. So he watched the full video and listened to it in headphones. And Alex and I were watching his reaction, and it was terrifying. And then he just starts getting more and more into it. And he really thoroughly enjoyed it and gave us a really great review. So I don't know who that was.
Good.
Appreciate you.
That speaks well on both of you, actually.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
It was cool watching the song Roller Coaster and him be attached to it the whole time versus him getting bored.
That's a good term for that song.
It's
all fucking over the place.
And what's the name of that song again?
Ugly Love.
Ugly Love.
Ugly Love. So we're going to let you guys take a listen to Ugly Love. And we're going to take a quick break. And you guys enjoy that. And we'll be right back. Bloop.
realize what I lost. I think I wanna forget. You just need to understand that with me it always ends this way. Excuse me while I hang my head each day. You don't wanna be here, you don't have to stay. If you want me to leave, girl, I'll walk away. I'll take everything away. Over and over again. What's possible? What's for you? I know you don't wanna be here. She's had enough of moving on. As the good times that we had fade one by one. She's had enough of my ugly love. At least the bad times that we had through are finally done. Like the back and run away. You can say we need to find ourselves and give me attention. I think I wanna forget. I think I wanna forget. Let's go. You just need to understand it. I'm moving on. As the good times that we had fade one by one. She's had enough of my ugly love. At least the bad times that we had through are finally done. You don't wanna be here, you don't have to stay. If you want me to leave, girl, I'll walk away. I want you to be happy, like when I found you. I'll always be sorry I turned out this way. You don't wanna be here, you don't have to stay. If you want me to leave, girl, I'll walk away. I want you to be happy, like when I found you. I'll always be sorry I turned out this way. The words of fire in my lungs. What made you end it out? Now your eyes red my face.
Oh yeah,
Oh shit, are we back?
we're back.
Damn, that means that we just listened to that track, huh?
That was "Ugly Love" by Like Vultures.
Ugly Love. That's a banger, dude. But you know what? I can say that I've heard newer bangers too, actually. Mhm.
Yeah, we have more songs.
Yep, and that one's
We have so many.
that one's awesome.
We have at least 2 more songs.
But there are some other ones coming up that you guys don't even know about, and we're working on and stuff. Jake, you want to talk about some of that stuff?
Yeah. So, I mean, we don't have like any management or label support right now, so we can just do whatever the fuck we want. I get a lot of advice on like, hey, don't put out too much music, or like put out way more music. I get that a lot. And yeah, I mean, we have some singles, we have an album's worth of songs, and we're just gonna kind of go with the flow right now. Playing a couple shows in the next couple months. We're playing December 6th, the Dead Crown release show.
Can't come to that. And I told Kendall that. I'm so fucking bummed, dude. I gotta go
Yeah.
out of town.
And I am just so fucking excited, and
That's gonna be really good for everybody,
honored
dude.
to be on that. Yeah, that was right before we dropped Ugly Love, leading up into that. Kendall hit us up to play that show, and I was like, cool, thanks, we'll open, like, whatever, I just want to play it, thank you so much. And then we dropped the song, it went really, really well. And then Benny from Avoid just booked us in Seattle with Ossetia. That's January 18th. We'll be in Seattle with Ossetia, so a couple shows coming up. and we're just looking to keep the ball rolling, man. I'm not going to say a lot, but we have the best songs we've ever written ready to go. So it's just kind of, putting them out on our own time and trying to keep people hooked, trying to get those numbers up a little bit. You know how it goes.
Yeah, definitely.
So more songs, more music videos, a lot more content. That's kind of one thing why we took our time with coming back too is we've done that several times. Like, hey, we're going to be back, like new songs coming soon. And then like, someone will have a personal fucking tragedy that I'll use as an excuse to not come back and not put out more music and stuff like that. And we didn't want to drop anything until we had something to follow it up with so we could make sure to, keep it rolling.
Yeah. And no problems thus far with everybody, huh? Everybody's still...
Yeah. No, it was me every time. Yeah, man, that's kind of something we could probably go into is like, I think one of the important things I've learned over the last couple of years is you just have to do it with what you have and where you are. Like, don't worry about quality or like, I'm not there yet or anything like that. Like, you just have to go. You just have to start because it's going to take like 6 times longer than you think it is. Whatever it is, whatever you're trying to improve. If you want to release something, if you want to do something creative, you just have to do it. That was something I learned. The first things we started recording for this, I thought were absolute garbage. And then I was kind of just doing it because I knew I had to. I knew that was what I had to do next. And it immediately turned into an obsession again. And now I'm fully addicted.
Good.
I have new songs to record. These ones aren't done yet. Alex is going to hate me.
Why?
Because I always want to start recording the next thing before we are anywhere near finished with what we're working on.
We have both been very patient with these songs we've had. I'm just going to say that because we are both itching to make more.
Yeah.
I can confidently say that that's going to be really fun. We know that. It's going to be, yeah.
But at this point, where I'm at now is like, let's fucking wrap it up, though.
Well, for me as my position, it's just beautiful for me to hear it finished and like actually hear it. It's beautiful for me. It's like, it goes. These songs bring back memories of the past couple of years of my life. So like, it's just wild to like finally have them be cemented.
Yeah, I don't know if publicly. People that are close to us know, but publicly, I don't think very many people know that Alex is a huge reason why Like Vultures is back because.
I wanted to dive into that. Is Alex kind of like
he's a co-writer for sure.
Co-writer for your band?
So
okay.
I'm going to go into exactly Alex and I's writing relationship, exactly how that works. So my ideas are usually vague. Like I want this vibe. This is the hook I have, like vocally, and here's like a guitar. What it is usually is this is the guitar part, but I'd like you to make it better. Like this is the general idea, and then he'll pick up the guitar and. He'll riff out my riff a couple times, and then it'll be like 10 times better within 5 minutes. And so we'll go that route, and then we'll dive into a song that way. Or so that's how my songs get written. Like I use the term like my songs loosely. Like Alex has, I think, 2 full songs that he wrote instrumentally. And he has 1 full song that he wrote instrumentally and just was like, hey, do you like this? And I was like, oh my God, that's the sickest metalcore song I've ever heard. And, so there's a couple songs like that. There's a couple where they're his idea and I'm kind of like, and then maybe we could do this and then maybe this. So it's like guitar's in his hand, guitar will go in my hand. It'll go back and forth.
I'd like to say a lot of them are literally just based off of an awesome chorus he brings to me.
Yeah,
and we form a song around it. So I'd like to say it's...
Yeah, it's a really good 50-50 relationship. I think the new songs will have a couple more people writing on them. That's something I wasn't open to really for a long time. I didn't want to write with anybody. I didn't want to work. I wanted to bring a complete product to somebody and just record it, but that's not how my brain works at all.
No.
And if I tried to do it that way, I would never finish anything. So having a co-writer really helps you like wrap shit up. Like
you're really good at writing choruses.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Yes, he is.
I think that's probably my forte.
Hey, man, it ain't no problem, dog. I love you, man. Shit, man. I love you.
I know that this band, Like Vultures, Jake's band, has touched people with the choruses and the way it's delivered. And everyone, it's been relatable for a lot of people. And I think Duncan just kicked my
I just
mic. He's
kicked
become
him,
hostile. Take care of him.
Fuck out of here.
No.
Fuck Like Vultures.
Yo, don't you ever shut up.
Fuck Jake and Like Vultures.
I think for those people that love this band for that reason, there's choruses on new stuff that are really going to hit home, and you're going to be very happy that you listen to it.
Which is weird too, because sometimes when I'm writing, it's always very last minute. A lot of the stuff is like, oh, I got to record this song tomorrow that I've been writing for a year. I'm going to write the words now. But that's like when it works. When I try to write shit ahead of time, it's better off the cuff for me. It's better like, okay, how do I feel right now?
What's more real too?
Yeah. And so sometimes when I'm writing like that, it's such a blur that I'm like, oh, this feels like it's about nothing. Like, where is this going? And then when the song's finished and I can kind of look back, I'm like, oh, that makes a lot of sense. I understand that now. And then people can kind of vibe with it.
What was Like Vultures before it became Like Vultures? Wasn't it like
It wasn't.
It wasn't. Were you in any other bands?
No.
Really?
Really?
This is your first band?
Yeah, I was like 22.
Oh, that's surprising. I didn't know that. That's
Yeah.
very surprising, actually. I thought that you'd been.
I
like,
observed for a very long time.
Okay.
Yeah.
Watching.
I was a dreamer. I was a daydreamer for a long time about it. Like I was 18, 19, living in Spokane, listening to Devil Wears Prada.
So you're from Spokane?
No, I'm from Tri-Cities.
But you lived in
But I
Spokane.
immediately went to Spokane, like after high school, pretty much immediately. And
Where's the Pin? You ever go to the Pin?
see, I wasn't really active in any
not
scene.
music? Okay.
No. My mom was like the ISS teacher at high school, like the in-school suspension teacher.
Oh, I've been in many of those.
I think I was like loosely starting to play music, and she knew some guy that had been like in ISS a lot. That was a drummer, and that's kind of how we met.
It's funny.
And
She's like, "Here, I'll introduce you." And like,
I did get. I mean, I kind of roughly. I think I heard Jeremy McKinnon in an interview. The singer to Data Remember was saying like, we did everything wrong first, and then we kind of learned how to do it right. And I don't remember if he directly went into it, but I kind of knew that like what people did they would get in a garage and like jam out some songs and then like book some shows and like, play their loose versions of the songs and maybe make it to the studio one day. And this was like this was in 2012. So the formula for like metalcore and post-hardcore was there, but I feel like most local kids were still like doing it that way, like the garage band style. And I knew that the way was write some songs, go to a studio with like some kind of producer that knew what he was doing, and get like the best quality songs you could with like the budget you had, and then put, drip those songs out or release an EP or something, push that, and then like start playing some shows. Nice. So I did have that advantage. I think that's why it might be a little surprising that Like Vultures was my first project, but I've been doing it on and off for like 7 years. So,
well, that's kind of a sign also, is what you were just talking about, is like, this is your first project and you were taking it serious by going to like a producer and stuff. And that's why it's surprising. I'm like, oh, it seems like you've been doing this for a second.
I had some kind of run-in with like one of the Above the Broken guys, like, or right away when I started. I went to a local show to kind of like see what was up or something like that. And I met one of the Above the Broken guys, and then like went and listened to their band a couple months later.
Wasn't it Vinny?
I think it was Vinny, their vocalist, yeah. And then kind of just found their producer, Steven Riverman, and
is that who it was?
Reached out, and he hit. I'll never forget. I was so not prepared. He hit me with a list of demands, basically like, I don't let people come through my studio without these things, and it was like fully written songs with like full vocal parts and harmonies and like first and second guitar. Like, it was like, if you're this type of band, you need to have this shit. And I had like about half, and I was like, cool, and signed it and sent it back. Like, yep, we'll figure it out. And
yeah,
totally.
Did you figure it out?
Sure.
Yeah, he did.
For the most part.
Okay.
The first thing we put out, like I remember the first time I got one of like the first test mixes back, and I was like, oh my God, this is sick. Like, I just didn't know, man. I didn't.
That's crazy.
I had no experience, and I didn't know. And the first time I sang like one of my lines out loud, like the singing parts, I knew I could scream, I knew I could sing a little bit, but like no one in the band had heard me sing. Like, I was weird about it. And so it was like, we got in the studio to do our song, The Truth. And I stood up to the mic. I was like, okay, I hope this is good. Worked out.
Damn.
Yeah, it worked out. It was I stand behind a couple of the songs on that EP, but
What else has Steven done?
Oh man,
so much. Rewrite the Tides, Above the Broken, Eleonora, a lot.
Osasha.
Shyless. Yeah, like everyone that I know that's like trying to do this shit professionally or doing this shit professionally has like a pretty full schedule of things that they're working on at the same time, because no one can just like do music now. It's
yeah. Oh, everybody I know, even on labels, like has day jobs. The only person, or the only people that don't have day jobs in the music industry or another source of income that they have to get outside the music industry, are like, you know, like what, like Bring Me the Horizon and like that type of bands.
The other thing is that you have to consider is like things are changing so much with like media in general, that how I'm feeling lately is I know there's several media projects that I want to work on, and Like Vultures is kind of like the jump off point for me, because it's, to be frank, like I love doing it, but to be frank about it, it's the thing that I've done that's stuck with someone, you know? There's a few million streams out there, and I think that I can use that to get a few million more, and then I'm not going to say I'm going to use that and then stop. I don't know when I'm going to stop doing Like Vultures, but I have a lot more to say with it, and I have a lot more like hard rock and metalcore songs in me, but there's a lot of media projects I want to do, but I'm beginning to feel very restricted by like the 40, 50-hour work week that a lot of us have to do to kind of pay the bills and put money into a art project too. And I think at some point, like when you start taking off, quote unquote taking off or making it, you just have to take that leap where you're like, I'm going to do 4 projects now, you know, whether it's a brand, like a merchandise company, or a podcast, or, you know, like an advertising business, or
art.
Just art, selling, you know, YouTube videos, or just anything like that. Like I'm going to do 3 or 4 projects now to replace my job, because I can't keep my job and do the projects I need to do. But you have to make that leap, and you have to mean it, and you have to get your shit in. Like you got to get your work done at that point. There's no more like, oh, we'll do the song next Monday or some shit like that. You have to get it done. You have to be your own boss. I'm not there yet. That's what I'm working towards. I'd like to be able to take that leap next year, but I mean, the time's going to come where I'm too busy with Like Vultures to have a job, and it's up to me when that time comes to be able to financially support myself with art.
Yeah.
You got to have a side hustle, and then a side hustle, and then like another side hustle.
I've been doing this forever, man. And like, you know, like I said, any band I know that's on a label, you know, everyone has they're either a bartender or working some, you know, job, but that's what you got to do to like make your dream work. You know, we all have to do it, you know, unless you're constantly touring all the time too. Then there's that. And it's like
another thing that I think people are going to have to evolve into, like musicians. I know a lot of musicians do this now. This is not a new thing, but this is a new thing for Like Vultures, where like everybody in the band kind of has a job, like a secondary and tertiary job, and a role to fill. And like
you have to,
if you know, like you need somebody in the band designing stuff. You need somebody in the band like that can record simple demos, at least simple demos, if not like, you know, pre-production demos. And you need somebody like working on and focusing on your merch, like it's a brand, because if you can do all those things and you can pay for yourself and for your gear, and you can cover your costs with the band and start to make a little bit of money, well, then it becomes a little more realistic to tour and not have a job and stuff like that.
I never forgot this, like reading this dude on line. He was like, yeah, I'll let my kid join a band. And he's like, but he like made a list of reasons or list of things like the kid would have to do before he joined a band. And when I first read the list, it was on Reddit. I was like, "Oh, this shit's like whack." This guy,
fuck you.
Yeah, but then I was like, "No, like
that makes sense."
Like I went right back and read the list. I'm like, "This dude's like very smart, and he's actually very intuitive." He's like, first, like anyone in the band, he's like, you know, he's like he would have to find his members, and then anyone in the band, like someone would have to take, like vehicle maintenance courses. Someone would have to take like marketing courses.
Yeah.
Someone would have to take like literally like it was for everything, like 5 like things that to run the band.
Vehicle maintenance
graphic
thing
design
has played a role in our.
And think about that.
lineup
If you
at
had
some
like
point.
5 people that had like gone to classes and like learned all these
Yeah.
things and were fucking musicians.
Goal oriented.
Yes. And then you won't have to pay out of
Driven.
pocket, dude. You know, that is like, you know, then you can make money in music. That's the route it's going to now.
You have to be like so insanely motivated to like make a splash now, or lucky. Shit happens different for everybody, but for me, the only thing that's ever worked for me is to just like focus on those other things, like you were just saying. You know, kind of try to think of everything. You have to think of everything, but you have to have that like raw motivation and that drive, that commitment. Just, I'm gonna do this. I'm a firm believer in like like in self-belief. Like, this is who you are. You can do this. It doesn't matter what people say about you. You know, if you're not happy because you're not doing something, just you need to do that thing, unless it's like murder. Or like a serious
Unless it's
crime,
like murder,
rape, anything like that. Like, if you have to do that to be happy, like, don't be unhappy, please. But no, like, I am very unhappy when I'm not like in some point in the process of creating and releasing music. Like, I'm just not a happy guy. The people around me have witnessed my life fall apart because of it, because of the decisions I make when I'm unhappy are not healthy, you know.
Same.
And I've ruined lives. I have really fucked my life up and other people's lives up because of me being unhappy. And, you know, because if you're not a fulfilled person, you're going to fuck your life up. So if you're not happy, like not doing something, like you can do it. Like, everybody has something in them that they want to do, that they think about all the time.
Everybody. I'm sorry, I don't care who you are. Like,
and with
everyone
music,
thinks about something.
Music, entertainment, video games, art, like, the assets are out there. You can just do it on your own. So, yeah, I'm a firm believer in just like, I question myself a lot, like, but I try now to not let it get to an unhealthy level. Like, I mean, last night I really put myself through it. I don't know. I wasn't really thinking about coming and doing a podcast today. Just in general, I'm so enthralled in the recording process, and we're preparing. This is our first show in multiple years, and I'm really enthralled in the process, and I'm in it right now. Like, we're going to be releasing things soon. I really need it to go well, and I really need it to get to more listeners, and I really need the show to go well for us and all that. And so when you're in that process, it's really easy to like question yourself and believe those like those doubtful thoughts. But then I kind of, as soon as I go through those questions, like, are you really going to get up on stage and like scream at people? Like, that's a bizarre like way to like get your music out. Why do you do it that way? And then I start like asking myself questions that like people I knew in high school would be asking, that I would like never see again. I'll never know them again or see them. And I'm like, okay, I ate a lot of edibles last night. So like, you know, my high brain is like, what would they think? Like, oh my God, that's so weird. And then like a few hours later, like after you've kind of like gone through that, I'm like, oh no, like I just have to do this. This is just who I am. And like, I think once you get to that point with your art, you can't really get out of it anymore. You just have to do it.
Yeah, I had a problem with holding on to things too long this year, but I realize it's like now or never kind of sometimes.
Yeah, I think sometimes you and I are like each other's best friends and like worst influences sometimes, because
definitely. 100%.
like I'll be really strong and be like, dude, I'm fucking dope, and the shit I make is sick. And then but at the same time, Alex will be going through like a panic attack over like, you know, is this shit gonna work out for me? That's such a scary question that I know we all think all the time. Like, is this gonna work out? Because like, what the fuck am I doing if not? And that's dangerous. I don't let my mind go there anymore, because then you start making backup plans. You know.
Yeah.
There's a fine line between side hustle and backup plan. You know.
It's true.
So
you got to build your own prison and live in it.
I would never like tell people to do things the way I've like really had to change my life over the last 18 months, almost 2 years now, to survive. And I don't think like my way of living now would work for everyone, but I just like can't slow down, because when I start slowing down, then I start like thinking about the past and the future way too much.
Yep.
Like,
Same. I get anxious.
you know,
Yeah.
what if I would have done this instead of that? And like, oh, I wonder what this person thinks of me. And oh man, I really wish I could have not let them down. It's like, you already have. They don't think about you. And all that matters is that you're like creating shit. You need to keep creating shit. You need to keep making shit because we're all influencing. We're all making an impact. And if you're not happy, you're going to bring down. Nobody has to be happy all the time, but if you're not fulfilled, there's a high chance you're probably going to be bringing down people around you.
I really wasn't fulfilled for a lot of this year, man. I'm not gonna lie, but
I saw it.
Towards the end, I've been getting it. Finally, I feel like.
Well, fulfilled for me means like, you know, an hour and a half to 2 hours in the gym, getting a full day's work in, and like nailing it with some stuff for the band before I fall asleep. And so like, I think your schedule is very like similar to that.
Yeah.
Most of ours,
You guys both
are.
have very intense schedules.
Yeah. And that for me, I think is just because I wasn't even close to doing what I was capable of for like multiple years. And when you realize how much you've been leaving on the table, then it becomes like, almost like, I kind of feel like I'm always catching up for those like few years where I like really fuck shit up in my life. So I think at some point I'll level out, but I think at that point my work ethic will be ingrained enough that I'll probably just stay there in this place that I'm in right now.
My grind is like a snowball. I don't know if you relate to this, but I have to keep it rolling. If I let it sit, it will melt, and it melts fast.
Yeah.
Same.
Things that make it stop are
That's
like,
a good analogy.
yeah, for me it's relationships, video games. Like sometimes I have to just stop playing video games because I get too into them.
Yeah.
Like, little things like that even, or hanging out, going out to bars, but
I try to call myself on shit like really early too.
yeah,
Like,
me too.
oh, I
I'm still
really
there.
like this game. I don't buy games anymore, like probably because of that. Like, oh, I really like this game. I'm gonna return it today.
I've been doing that for years though too. I didn't play Skyrim back in the day because I
You just
knew I
knew.
would get. I knew.
Yeah.
Never played Skyrim.
You
Had
just
it for
be
like
too
2
into it.
days and I returned it straight up.
I'm also really bad about being like, I released a song today, and because of that, I'm gonna celebrate and let's party for a couple days. Like,
Yeah, right.
hey,
Couple days.
house party today, and then like the next day is like, well, you know, I released a song yesterday. Like, I don't need to work out today.
Yeah.
You know, and
Then it's just
I
over.
don't
You're
do
like,
that.
"Rrr."
Yeah, I don't do that because I know it just snowballs like that. That's a good one, and it melts so fast.
It melts very
That
fast.
determination. And all of a sudden, I'm eating ice cream on like a Monday.
And then you have to wait for it to snow again. And it only snows every so, you know, that doesn't work as well. But
Well,
you know
I
what
dislocated my shoulder like almost exactly a month ago, and I think I probably could have been back in the gym 2 weeks later, or maybe a week later. I don't really know because I didn't try. But it was a full 3 weeks, and when I got back in the gym, it was scary. Like I look in the mirror a lot when I'm at that point to kind of like get myself determined again. And it was scary, like how much you lose, how much motivation and determination you can lose in 3 weeks. I became very comfortable, like coming home and just sitting on the couch for a while and watching TV and putting off my workouts and putting off writing. And we were in the middle of recording, and my shoulder hurts. Like, I can't come in today, you know?
Yeah, well, I mean, this guy is the workout guy. This guy works out a lot.
Well, kind of stopped a little bit, but I mean, well, no, I mean, I run every day, but
I'm back to like what I like to think of as like the most I can do right now, which is like you run like what 6 miles a day, 5, 6,
6.
Yeah, so that's the most I can do. That's my right now. That's what I can do. I could do like maybe 5, 6 miles a day running, and like maybe 3 or 4 a day on the elliptical.
He goes 2 with me. He crushes it too.
Yeah, he's a good boy.
He's a good boy.
We're talking about the dog.
Yeah. No. Well, honestly, like as far as Like Vultures go,
Yeah, we should wrap this shit up. You're right.
Yeah, I mean, as far as Like Vultures go and anything else, I mean, is there anything else that anybody needs to know that's coming up?
I mean, I'm not really there yet. Like, I think I don't. That's probably a personal thing. But the way I am, I like to plug what I have right now, not what's like upcoming. We're not really at a point where we can say very much about like releases or anything like that. There's going to be stuff coming really soon, and then there's going to be stuff coming less soon. We're playing a show let's see if I can nail this.
You got
December
this. Come on,
6th,
you got this.
Portland, Oregon, Hawthorne Theater, Like Vultures, Bystander, Avoid, Trove, It Prevails, Dead Crown. Woo!
Nailed that
it.
shit.
There's an after party
The Hawthorne Lounge.
at the Hawthorne Lounge. And, I totally forgot the charity.
I think it's a toy drive.
It is a toy drive, but it's by donation, so don't bring toys, bring money. Lots of it. And man, I really wish I had that organization's name.
And who's going to be DJing that shit?
This guy right here.
Alex, dude. Alex is doing that.
Yeah, DJ by Alex. And then we have it. Like I said, we have a show in Seattle at the Funhouse with Osasha. And I need to say it. We just got word.
While he looks this up, please come make suggestions if you're coming to the show and tell me what to play, because I don't know what to play ever. I'm always... Someone set the vibe.
Fucking
Someone be the vibe
Freebird.
setter. But if you recommend Stained, you're just trying to bring the vibe down.
Stained.
No one appreciates you.
Yeah,
love
we're
Stained,
all
honestly.
already sad. There it is. Okay. So, January 18th in Seattle at the Funhouse. That's with Hacksaw, Mutilation, The Eclectic, Like Vultures, and Osasha. So that's what we got coming up right now. We have a lot more stuff coming soon, but not quite there yet. I'm sure I'll be back in like a month or two to talk about what's been going on.
Definitely.
But thanks so much for having me, guys.
Dude, thank you.
I'll be back.
We'll talk about some movies next time, Jake. We love you. And
I love you guys so much.
yeah, sorry I can't make
Much
you the
love.
show, but good luck on that, man.
Thank you.
Ooh.